Well, today is another exciting day. It's an out and about day, and we get to go to my neighbor Cynthia's house. And guess what she's gonna do? She's gonna make her famous banana pudding. Now let me give you a little story about this banana pudding that came across in my life. And that is, my husband and I were sitting down for dinner, and then all of a sudden the doorbell rings. And we're like, who could that be? So we open it, and there's Cynthia standing with a bowl of banana pudding. Just in time for our dessert. Just in time. That's how she does things. She did that with a bread loaf too before we had our dinner. She came over with a nice hot loaf of bread. Oh, we just slathered butter on that loaf of bread, and it was delicious. But today, it is my neighbor Cynthia, and she's going to make her famous banana pudding. And I'm gonna let her tell you all about it. So, here we go. And after our long walk, we finally made it to Cynthia's house.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
My wonderful neighbors.
Yay.
Come in.
Thank you. I've been waiting for this day.
It's a simple recipe, but there are lots of little things that my grandmother taught me that we'll talk about as we go through it.
I'm so excited.
It's banana pudding,
Yay.
old-fashioned, made from scratch. And I've even got a couple options up here that you can do if you can't use all the sugar and all of that. But we'll talk about that too. Is that okay?
Yes, perfect. Let me get my jacket off. Here,
Okay.
we'll get started.
I did a little prep work to begin with. Chopped bananas. Usually it takes about 4 good-sized bananas, if you want to get them done, and vanilla wafers, and you can even use graham crackers if for some reason you like. To begin with, what I do is I crack 4 eggs, put the whites in this bowl. Now, the reason I do that first is because it will make meringue much better if the whites are warm and not cold.
All right.
So I do that and let them sit there. Then we go over, and in this pot, I have 2.5 cups of milk. Here are the eggs of the yellows that we broke over here. This is the hard part because you have to go slow with it. And do it the right way so the eggs won't make scrambled eggs in the pudding or, whatever.
So what is this made up of?
This is 2.5 cups of milk, 1/3 cup of flour. We'll put the eggs in there and 1 can of either Eagle brand milk, the sweetened condensed milk. And you can use the non-fat or you can use the regular, whichever suits you. And that's one thing about this recipe. You can, if you like a lot of bananas, you can add a lot. If you don't like so many bananas and you like the vanilla wafers in it,
What's the difference between if you do use crackers versus the vanilla wafers? Because to me, I'm thinking it would be a totally different.
It is just a taste.
It's just a taste.
Just personal preference. Or maybe you want to make it and you don't have any vanilla wafers.
All right.
There's just options. You can use. When you do this, I'm letting that get warm.
Awesome.
When you do this and you put down the vanilla wafers and the bananas, if you put just a light coating of Pam down in it, it keeps the cookies from sticking, but it also gives them a little crispy flavor. So if you like that, to me it just makes it better. So,
I've got a question too that I have every time I go to the grocery store, and I get to the banana section, and regular bananas are 53 cents a pound, organic is 63 cents a pound. What do you prefer, or would you think putting in this recipe?
Well, of course we hear that organic is healthier.
Yeah.
But to me, it's more what the banana looks like. And you don't want them too fresh.
All right.
But you don't want brown spots in them.
Okay.
But I think they're sweeter and they taste better if they're a little bit ripe.
A little bit ripe.
And you just have to judge that, what you think it is. Okay, I'm gonna add these. And now the recipe calls for 2. And I wrote in on there, or 4. You'll laugh. Because you have to use 4 egg whites to make the meringue,
Okay.
and I can't stand to waste the other 2 eggs.
Okay.
I'm a don't waste person.
That's awesome.
And it doesn't change it that much. If you would like it a little thinner, you could always just use 2 egg yolks.
Okay, so that was egg yolks being put into
Uh-huh.
the milk and
And flour
flour.
structure. And I went ahead and put the flour in because it takes a while to get it to meld,
Okay.
and you don't want to taste a chunk of flour in your banana pudding.
No.
Do you?
No. I didn't know flour was in banana pudding. The banana pudding you gave us,
Uh-huh.
I could literally have put a straw in there and drank it like a smoothie. It was that delicious.
Good.
So
I'm glad.
yeah, I would have never known flour was in that in a
And
million.
this is the first question I get if we have a family get together. Gran, will you bring banana pudding?
Awesome.
Yes.
I can believe it.
One of the most important things about the pudding, since it's the main ingredient, is that you don't want to heat it too fast. Mix it up good, let it get a little warm, then you can turn the heat up a little more, and then eventually it will start thickening, and you'll feel it. Another hint my grandmother gave me was when you're making the pudding, don't use a metal spoon. She said the metal spoon would change the flavor of the banana pudding. I always use a wood one. So that's what I do. If my grandmother told me, that's what I do. We're going to add the vanilla flavoring now. It's 2 teaspoons. And my grandmother always said never add it on the heat because the heat will deconstruct the vanilla flavoring and you won't get the good taste. So that's what we've done. We've added it up right here.
So, how long does it take to make the banana pudding pie? How long of a process is this?
If you do things a little here and a little there, I would say 45 minutes, but it has to cook 25.
Okay.
And that can vary because I like to get my meringue a little brown on top. And if it starts getting brown, then a lot of times I'll take it out because I don't want it too brown. And I don't think it makes any difference because you've cooked the pudding on the stove, so.
And I still have a couple more questions in my mind. And how long ahead, like if you've got a Sunday afternoon gathering, would you make your banana pie pudding before church, before you bring it to the event?
I'd make it before I left to go to church, just because I'd want to have
That
it there
morning?
at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
And it's all right, And now my husband will eat banana pudding in the morning for breakfast that's left over, and I just stick it in the refrigerator. But his favorite is when it's warm, when it's just come out of the oven.
Now, the next process in this, I see eggs and egg whites in a blender.
These are the egg whites we've been letting warm. Go stir that for me.
Yes, ma'am. Oh,
You feel it
I
getting
see
thick?
it. Yeah, it's getting
stir it
thicker.
good.
Okay. It's smelling like banana pudding. Oh,
That's a good thing, I think. Okay?
yeah.
All right. We're going to start just by taking the egg whites that we've let get to room temperature. Sorry, it's noisy. Once I get them started a little bit, I'm going to add the sugar.
Okay.
And you really want to get the sugar mixed in because you don't want the meringue to taste like beads of sugar.
Okay.
You want it to taste like meringue. And so it's got to mix with 2 teaspoons cream of tartar. 1 more. That the meringue is getting ready when you can pull your beater up and it starts making peaks.
Oh.
We're taking the pudding that we took off of the stove, and I'm going to pour about half of it over this the vanilla wafers. This, and another thing you want to do, and you'll do the same thing with meringue, is make sure it seals on the bottom of the pan. Okay? Then we're going to take more vanilla wafers with the bananas and make another layer. When you're doing this, you really want to make sure that you get enough vanilla wafers and put as many as you want. That's
So it's layered. Is that part of the secret? Is layering?
Yes, layering.
You can tell.
Slice it up and I'll get it and put it on.
All right. Do you use your ends or
No,
not?
I usually eat those.
Is this a good way to slice them?
Yep, that's perfect.
Okay.
You can't do it wrong. You just do it like you like it.
That's wonderful.
And like I say, after you do it one time, that's it. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
This is where I usually call my husband and say, Jerry, do you want to lick the pot? Jerry, do you want to lick the pot?
No, that's okay.
You don't want to be on camera,
No.
do you?
Not on camera, at least.
To me, this is when I go in places and I see pies.
Mm-hmm.
This is like what makes me want to buy them. This aspect of it.
Well, if you close it off with this, then I'll put a big bunch in the center. Just kind of spread around and then make you some peaks.
Okay.
And they'll brown first. You lick it.
Sure. I'll let Cora do some too. I like this.
Okay, we're going to set the temperature at 325 and we'll let it get to the right temperature. Then we're going to put it in for 25 minutes. But this is really touchy because you have to watch the meringue closely. It's one of those things that sometimes it just browns quick and other times it takes a little bit of time. It doesn't have to cook for 25 minutes, but that's usually the time it takes for the meringue to brown. Okay. I'll put it in. So now we've had 25 minutes. Watch the meringue closely while it was cooking. It's a little brown on top, just like you want it. So we're going to take it out. Get a little more festive looking. I've added some vanilla wafers, just some around the side. And we're going to finish it off with this. Okay, these are vanilla wafers that I took with my little rolling pin and crushed. And I'm going to put them around the top. And there we go. We are done.
Yay! Cynthia, it's beautiful.
And there you can see Cynthia's banana pudding.
So that's the name of it, Cynthia's banana pudding.
Well, that's what they called it. I call it my grand.
Well, Cynthia, I'm so excited to have this on my YouTube channel called Worship with Gladness. And that's what I do within it. Everyday life situations, I worship the Lord with gladness. And I felt like we did that today.
I think so too. And you know, a lot of worshiping the Lord comes from the past. And so it gives you wonderful memories of your grandparents, of this and that, and how
blessed you are.
Yes, blessed I am and love you.
Thank you so much for today, beyond words. And you'll be able to find all of the exact measurements and time in the description.
And make it your own. Do it like you like it.
Excellent.
And grandchildren are God's greatest blessing.
Amen.
Amen.
You don't get that.
You really thought you were going to get that?
Quick, run out the
You
door.
can
I'll
have
get the
more
lights.
if you